That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode 39 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling. My name is Adam and Sam is here.
Hello.
John is here.
Hello.
And Brett is also here.
Hey.
And before we get into SummerSlam 2018, we have a little confession to make, and that is that I was about to say we fucked up. Did we fuck up, or did we just have a massive equipment failure?
Why don't you say you fucked up, and me, John, and Brett are going to chant "you fucked up" whilst. Yeah.
Well, we could chant that out of the new microphone we bought.
Okay. You fucked up.
Yes, we got together at Brett's house, which was all very lovely, and we watched SummerSlam, and then straight afterwards we sat around a table, and we've got a brand new microphone that we can use for group recordings now, and it was working so nicely, and the pod was top drawer. I think possibly
one of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the sheer quality that we were talking into the microphone, it just broke it. The mic couldn't handle it, and our recording program corrupted the files, and we lost loads of fantastic audio. So
yeah, we managed to combine the know-how of Meltzer with the wit of, I can't think of anyone us.
The wit of us. Oh dear.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So you can expect more of the same in that podcast.
Yeah. I mean, Sam was slagging off Peyton Royce beforehand as well. So yeah. Sorry about that. Although I say sorry, it doesn't really affect anybody listening. You probably just want us to get on with it, but it was quite annoying for us. But here we are, the day after. We're all back at our individual houses, and if anything, we've had more time to think about SummerSlam and go online and steal other people's opinions. So here we are.
Normality has resumed.
Yes. We're not going to talk about TakeOver because it was so bloody amazing that it would totally make SummerSlam sound rubbish.
You know what you're getting with TakeOver. It's always going to be good. You don't need a review for it. Just watch it. Enjoy it.
Yeah. 10 out of 10, basically.
Yeah.
And John hasn't seen it yet, so we don't want to ruin it for him. But I think one little thing we can talk about very briefly before we get into SummerSlam, Matt Riddle. Quick
Matty Riddle.
Thoughts on the Riddle
Riddle
signing?
I don't know how he's going to do, to be honest, in WWE.
I'm definitely worried.
Yeah, I'm both super excited and super gutted.
Would have loved to seen him in New Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a waste. That would have been amazing.
It kind of feels like NXT is like the last hurrah before you then become just paycheck collector.
I think, no, I might be totally wrong, and I keep saying this, but I think he's just got the character, charisma and personality that he's just going to do well.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to be able to beat that out of him like they do others.
Oh, Brett.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I remember when I was that naive.
Let me tell you about someone called Kevin Owens.
Oh, dear. Yes. We'll get to that match a bit later. I think he'll do great as well, but we will see. And you never know. We were talking about this. Maybe we'll actually review a takeover at some point, because that would be a lot of fun. But we're not going to do that now. We're going to talk about WWE SummerSlam 2018 after this.
EC3 now has Velveteen Dream on the apron.
Velveteen Dream could be in trouble. Wait.
Counter here by Velveteen.
No way.
Dream Valley Driver on the apron.
SummerSlam then, it was held at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, and this is in fact a bit of an anniversary for us, because SummerSlam 2017 was in fact the first proper pay-per-view that we reviewed in episode 2 on the podcast. So we've come full circle.
Yeah,
We've done it, guys. We've completed wrestling.
Yeah.
Pack up, go home.
1 full year.
it's a 1-year anniversary and a 1-day anniversary
Oh, yeah, good point.
for doing this pod, the SummerSlam.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is actually our 3rd SummerSlam podcast. Anyway, so yeah, as I said, held at the Barclays Center. I'm going to go straight in with this actually before we get into the card. Do you kind of feel that the Barclays Centre, okay, it's a great place for NXT because it's an upgrade from the Full Sail University. Is it the kind of the best venue for one of the big four pay-per-views? Did it really feel like it was one of the big four?
No, not at all.
This felt like an ordinary,
Yeah,
even like a Raw almost.
it did. There was no special. There was no special sets.
No.
Nothing. It was literally just like a Raw.
The attendance on this is surprisingly low, to be honest. 17,000 for one of the biggest wrestling events of the year.
Yeah.
Like,
That is low because this is the second biggest pay per view.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you've still got the biggest Royal Rumble in there.
I mean,
Got biggest in the name.
the thing is, yes, it's the second biggest one. It should be a massive spectacle. And as we talked about way back in episode 1, my earliest wrestling memory is SummerSlam 92, and I know that was special because it was abroad, but that was at Wembley Stadium, for God's sake. It was absolutely huge, and obviously other SummerSlams have been big showpiece events, and this felt like a normal pay-per-view, a good one, but it felt like it should be more special. But
Yeah, I think kind of that was a theme across this entire SummerSlam, actually. It's just nothing was memorable. This isn't going to be a SummerSlam we look back on and wax lyrical about.
No.
It's just going to be lost in the mess of WWE pay-per-views.
it wasn't an iconic event.
No. Other than Eric Rowan.
Eric Rowan diving, yeah.
He really did pull out his A game, didn't he?
Yeah,
That legend.
It's
top level.
It's
Thank you,
probably
Eric Rowan.
due to the money that they're probably trying to recoup from having the network. Because I don't think that's quite the money-making machine they thought. And I think, obviously you lose pay-per-view sales that way as well. And obviously it's Vince and his XFL.
Oh, do you reckon?
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to have, a little while ago, wasn't it, saying that he's supposed to have, taken a load of money to pump back into that idea.
Are you sure about that? Because it sounds to me like, kind of, from what I've heard, WWE are kind of laughing at profits at the moment. I think if there's one thing they're not struggling with, it's money. It's just quality is down the fucking toilet.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it must be money because if they're scaling back on the spectacle of the shows, like WrestleMania is the only one that they do any special
Pyro.
stage setting, and pyro.
I would argue that kind of they're scaling back on things because it's not actually adding to the gate receipts. I would say adding or removing fireworks isn't going to make a bit of difference as to how many tickets they sell. So that's just kind of
yeah, but it stays, doesn't it? It's like stays in your memory when it's
but I mean
that
WWE
much
don't
of an
make money
event.
on memories, do they?
Yeah, they don't really care about that.
They spend a lot of money on WrestleMania because you get a lot of
Publicity.
sort of part-time fans, sort of new people who haven't
Yeah.
seen wrestling before watch it. Whereas probably no one who doesn't watch WWE fairly regularly is not going to be watching SummerSlam.
It seems to me like kind of they're being very frugal at the moment, and that's not because it's like, oh no, we need to tighten the belt because things are hard. I think it's just we can make money. We know we're going to make money, so fuck the fans.
Yeah.
maybe it's Matt Riddle's contract.
Could well be. Anyway, there were some very entertaining things in this SummerSlam, and there were a lot of positive things, and we're going to talk about them right now. So we're going to do the new format, the format that we've done on the last couple of pay-per-views, which involves talking about key matches. Obviously, this is SummerSlam, though, so there were quite a lot of key matches, but we'll talk about those. We're going to talk about the best of the rest, the worst of the rest. We're going to pick a star performer, and then we're going to give the pay-per-view a mark out of 10 each and see if it can beat the average 4.6 that Extreme Rules got.
Ouch.
We shall see. Pretty confident it will, but who knows. So the card, just to go through that very quickly. Pre-show, we had Rusev and Lana versus Zelina Vega and Andrade Almas. Cruiserweight Championship match between Cedric Alexander and Drew Gulak. And then the Raw Tag Team Championship match between the B Team and the Revival. We watched those matches, didn't we, Brett, before John and
We did sort of.
Sam arrived? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Who won which?
Who did win which? God,
Zelina
good question.
Vega and Almas won that match with Vega pinning Lana.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander
He retained.
kept the belt against Gulak, and the B team retained against the Revival.
Yeah.
I wish I had seen Almas versus Rusev and Vega versus Lana.
No, it was because they won't do intergender wrestling. It was one of those awful.
They're teasing it though, aren't they?
Yeah, they should just do it. Say that that match was not good. It was not good.
It's a shame to see Rusev languishing down there. But
Rusev deserves better.
he does.
So is Almas.
Yeah.
Almas is going to get better though. Like he's going through the kind of the process of coming up from NXT. You do a few kind of pre-show matches, you get that under your belt, and then bam, you're in there with Roman Reigns.
And then bam, your contract gets terminated. Yeah, because I mean, look at what happened with Ty Dillinger. Although I suppose it's a bit different because Almas was actually champion.
Yeah, you got to look at champions like Bo Dallas and Neville, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens. Oh God.
Anyway, so the main card for SummerSlam was decent, very decent looking. We had the Intercontinental title match between Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, obviously accompanied by Dean Ambrose and Drew McIntyre. SmackDown tag title match was next, Bludgeon Brothers versus The New Day. Then we had Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens. SmackDown women's title match between Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Carmella. WWE Championship match between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. Finn Balor versus Constable Baron Corbin. Jeff Hardy versus Nakamura for the US title. Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship match. And then finally, the Universal Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. That was quite a lot to read out.
Yeah, we should have got you to try and do it without pausing for a breath.
Yeah. I realise, in a way, it may well be pointless reading that out, but you never know. There might be somebody who's listening to this who doesn't fancy watching SummerSlam.
Maybe they're like me and they completely forgot that Shinsuke Nakamura had a match with Jeff Hardy.
Anyway, so key matches. We have picked out a few. In fact, we've picked out 6, and there were only 10.
6 out of 13?
Yeah,
wait, hold on.
13 if you include the pre-show.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with the first match on the card, the Intercontinental title match between Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler. Fucking
no, Ziggler, you got it right first time.
Terrible talking. Sam, you kept a little tally for us.
I did. Knee count. How many times did Seth Rollins' knee come up? It was 9. 9 times.
9 mentions
Michael
of
Cole
the injured knee.
brings up Seth Rollins' injured knee. So I think he's got an injured knee, guys.
Yeah, painful. Just like his knee.
Quite low though, I reckon, for recent Seth Rollins matches. I reckon.
Yeah, sub 10. I mean, I guess that's the
Michael
sign of
Cole
a good
will be
match.
gutted with that. Like, not breaking 10 on SummerSlam, one of the big main pay-per-views.
He was saving himself for the Superman punches.
Yeah, that knee injury. Ugh,
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
it's
so
a tired
bad.
formula now for Seth Rollins.
Love to see Seth Rollins versus Tetsuya Naito in a hardcore match where they're both just going for the knees.
Yeah.
Be amazing. Just both of them hobbling around the ring.
Yeah. I mean, I give Seth his due. He's, he's good at hobbling.
I mean, he's got enough practice at it.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like, do you reckon actually if you saw him just, day to day walking down to the shop sort of thing, he'd be like hobbling?
He doesn't know how not to hobble.
Yeah.
What I'm starting to realise, one of my favourite things about Seth Rollins is that he famously has an injured knee and he sells it like nothing else. And then his 2 finishes are the ripcord knee and the curb stomp. And it's like, okay, well, don't need Sherlock Holmes here to work this one out.
Anyway, we've done the slagging off part of this review of this match. Who's going to talk positively about it? What did you enjoy about it?
It was a good match, wasn't it?
I enjoyed.
It was a good match.
I enjoyed the last sequence. Was probably the only sequence I think in this whole event.
It built well, didn't it?
Yeah,
I thought this match built really well. This was probably my favourite match of the night, actually.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think. Do you know what? It was really refreshing to see a good Dolph Ziggler match, which is such a rare.
I think that's harsh. I don't think Dolph ever gives a bad match.
I think Dolph is the perennial C grade, and this week he brought out a B, and that was nice. Nice to see.
I think he's such a safe pair of hands.
Yeah, I think kind of that's fair. I'm enjoying his team up with Drew McIntyre. I think that's that's been quite refreshing to see. And he had sick tights this week.
it was nice that they were left to actually have a match as well, and there wasn't much interference from the outside.
Yeah, in fact,
Yeah.
kind of having the two corner men but not actually interfere, it made it feel like a New Japan match, which is,
Yeah.
I think that's
Fair.
good praise for it. I really enjoyed the match. I think it built really well.
Yeah.
There were some good suicide dives in this match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there
No,
were.
yeah.
There was
Okay,
a
so-
series of good suicide dives
I think-
over the whole pay-per-view.
My only thing, like, I think it definitely did build up, but I just think, like, it's something that I will repeat with some of the other matches. There was just a big chunk, like the first, I don't know, like 15 or so minutes of the match where there were lots of pauses between each move,
Yeah.
sort of thing, you know, and lots of, I guess, strikes, but there was just too many pauses, not enough sequences, which is why, like, I highlighted the end one, because it was just nice to see some moves get strung together
Yeah, I
and
think
some
that's a fair
pace to be
criticism.
brought to a match.
I'm happy that Dean Ambrose is back. I didn't think I'd miss him, but I did.
I don't like Dean Ambrose. I think him being involved in this match, even if it was just on the outside, just put me off of it. It made it hard for me to enjoy this match.
No way. He looks like he's evolved from the previous Dean Ambrose, like a Pokemon. He's a big motherfucker now,
Yeah.
and he's ready to kick some ass.
And
He
interestingly,
does look great.
on Raw last night, it seems like he's really has added to his moveset. He's doing some different stuff. I suppose when you've got all that time off, you're going to learn some
a
new
few
tricks.
moves.
Nice.
But Sam, when we were watching, Sam, didn't you commented about how, why did they bring him back on Raw?
Yeah. I mean, this is I think everyone has been asking this same question. Why would you bring him back on Raw, not on not on SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Certainly not on SmackDown. That would be very cruel to everyone. No, seriously, like, what a return that would be. Because if there's one thing this SummerSlam was lacking, it was surprise entrances and returns. Like, there was no NXT call-ups, there was no huge signings. What a return for Dean Ambrose that would have been. Like a kind of, who's in Seth's corner? It's only fucking Dean Ambrose. Bam.
Yeah. And it's not as
Yeah,
if he
that
did
would've
anything
been
on
cool.
Raw that was worthwhile. Again, he was just, ringside. It seemed like an easy win to do that, to have him come back at SummerSlam.
I feel like
odd.
this is quite a consistent thing with WWE recently. It's just pulling the trigger a little bit early on things. Like,
Yeah.
kind of, a lot of people would say that about the Daniel Bryan Miz match, but
Yep.
kind of, we'll come to that.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, we did enjoy the match. It was a good match. But there were just, as always, quite a few points that annoyed us slightly. But moving on to the next match, the next key match, which was the SmackDown's women's title match between Becky Lynch, Charlotte and Carmella. One thing that heel Nick Payne, hello heel Nick Payne, mentioned when he got in touch on Twitter, which we didn't notice, or at least I don't think you guys noticed, I didn't, was the nice little nod from Charlotte and Carmella, both wearing pink, little nod to Natty
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and her dad, of course. And obviously we saw Natalia a little later on. But yeah, we spent most of this match, at least the early stages, talking about how great Carmella is as a character and as a heel.
Yeah, this was my favourite match of the whole pay-per-view, I think.
Wow.
Good shout, I think. I think it was a good match. I think it was a really good match.
Yeah,
I think it's mainly because of Carmella's work in it.
Yeah.
I think she was
And the
great.
end.
The way she was trying to sort of drive a wedge in between Becky and Charlotte.
I'm such a
Yeah.
fan of that Eddie Guerrero role, that kind of,
Yeah.
cheeky trickster kind of thing. It's so good.
Her character work in being a heel is top notch.
She's brilliant.
Yeah, very
Who would
entertaining.
have called, like, a couple of years ago when you had, like, Big Cass and Enzo and Big Cass coming up with Carmella and all of that, and like, you wouldn't have said at this point in time, two of those guys would be unemployed and one of them will be in the women's championship picture. Like,
Well, yeah, she'll be going into SummerSlam with the belt. It's
mental, that.
Yeah, it is. You definitely
Yeah.
wouldn't have, especially with how hot they were, the Enzo and Cass. God.
Carmella has been one of the biggest success stories from NXT into the main roster, Like, kind of, I think if you look at the current roster of people who have come up from NXT, it's very easy to languish and not make the best of, like, the opportunity. And a lot of people would level that at probably Asuka, to be honest. I would say Carmella has been similar to kind of Elias, where she's maybe been brought up a little bit early and everyone's been like, oh, is this the right call?
Yeah.
And it's really paid dividends
She-
and, it's worked.
She must have been brought up though because of character. You know, the level of quality of wrestling in the women's division in WWE now is is a really high standard.
Sure.
I mean, she does have the character work which the others don't. I mean, obviously, like I think Asuka's great character-wise, so I don't really mean her as such, but also, you know, she's very limited in speaking, so therefore I guess she has that limit, but I think she does a visual character side really well.
She does.
But the whole being a great heel, being, you know, the mic stuff, but also I think the stuff in the ring she does, it's not just the talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
I really enjoy a lot of her moves that she does, the unique ones like her finisher, and also that kind of that turnbuckle sort of hurricanrana kind of handstand thing. It's a bit different. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. But also, what made this match really good was Becky Lynch. I think it was. I'm gutted that she didn't win. It's her time to win. Come on.
I think everyone was gutted. I think everyone was hoping.
I was gutted straight away, but I'm really excited by what we've got now. The future, the fact that we're going to have Becky versus Charlotte, two of the best, two of the originals.
Yeah. I mean,
it's going to be great.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I'm still not sure that Charlotte winning was a good call. Like, kind of that match, you could have had the Becky heel turn at the very end, and the feud between Charlotte and Becky, and it doesn't have to involve the title. Like, you've got a good enough story there.
But Charlotte's just such a great champ. Like, and
Charlotte was the one person I was hoping wouldn't win in this match.
Why?
Oh, really?
Because we've seen it before. It just seems a bit. It's a bit safe.
I
isn't
suppose
it?
so.
Just putting the belt on Charlotte.
I love Charlotte as champ.
Yeah, I love Charlotte as champ, and I think she's great. But I think she's definitely better as a heel. And I was going to say, like, we were talking when we were watching, like, you know, it seems like with Becky attacking, like, that's the heel move, but it'd be interesting to see on SmackDown whether that is the route, whether Charlotte is still the face.
The fans have certainly not taken it as...
No, because the fans were cheering Becky and they were booing Charlotte, so...
I read that they had a house show last night, a lot of the SmackDown wrestlers, and Becky ran out and attacked Charlotte, but the crowd went crazy cheering for Becky.
Yeah,
but the way that they've built the story is that it's like Charlotte has come along and sort of squeezed into this title match, and Becky is pissed off with her, and the fans have been behind Becky for ages. She's the underdog, she's the one who deserves better, etc. So surely they knew that this was going to happen.
And she's so like funny and entertaining on social media and on the outside. Like,
she can't be a heel, I don't think.
No, her being put with Sami Zayn, you know, for when they did the mixed match challenge, like they were, you know, two sides of the same thing, weren't they? Like, their characters are just so entwined.
Absolutely.
In that aspect.
I think the thing for Becky is, like, the wrestling kind of community, everyone seems to feel like it's now her time. Like, kind of, I don't think she's been given a fair run in the same way that Bayley, Sasha Banks, or Charlotte have been. And,
no.
You know, she's always been the fourth member of that group. And I mean, fucking, like, it's just time for her to have a...
And I think this is it. She just so happens she doesn't have the belt, but she's going to be in the main event picture. And as I think we mentioned when we were watching it, or just after that, this will probably could well headline the Evolution pay-per-view.
That should be great.
And Becky could well win the title there. And what a moment to do it, you know, rather than the second match at SummerSlam or whatever it was.
Do you know what they should do on Evolution? Is just before the main event, they should have a token men's battle royale.
That would be incredible. And then they should get, like, Zelina Vega to win it.
Yeah, absolutely. Zelina Vega in a moustache or something.
But it should be like a battle of the most misogynistic characters, like the Godfather.
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. Val Venus is successful.
Yeah, Val Venus.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my God.
Cool.
Okay, well, moving on to the third key match that we picked out. This was the WWE Championship match between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Obviously, the build to this has involved the narrative with Samoa Joe basically saying that AJ's a shit dad and a shit husband.
To AJ Styles' alleged wife.
Have you still going down that line?
I've gone back onto that path.
Yeah, Sam didn't think that the family in the crowd was actually AJ's real family.
They're actors, fool.
Yeah, they're not. We googled it, didn't we, John?
I know.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
The well runs deep, guys. It's kayfabe.
Yeah, you got to maintain kayfabe even on Google search.
Exactly.
Yeah. But Joe did some good mic stuff. He's been doing some decent
Joe
promos.
always does good mic stuff, though, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he's got an amazing
does.
voice, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's
Such
so
great presence
threatening.
as well. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I've not been enjoying a lot of Joe's matches recently.
No, they just sent me quite slow and ploddy. I enjoyed this one more than most because I don't feel like he went to the Coquina clutch as much
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
match as he normally does.
As he
like
did in the Roman
previous
match.
match. Yeah, just constantly going for it, which just seems a bit tedious.
And he teased the muscle buster,
Oh yeah, I was
which
quite
like
excited about that.
had us on the edge of our seats, going, "Oh, is it going to happen?"
Yeah. We want to see
And I
it.
think Tyson in the back must have just had like a shell shock kind of like PTSD moment. Oh man, the match itself was okay. It was decent. It was a little bit lethargic, I thought, and that was maybe took the wind out of my sails a little bit. I thought it had a good ending though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it ramped up right at the end, and it felt like that was going to be a good moment for the pace to pick up, but it just ended in a DQ,
Yeah, seems like a lot of matches.
which was a waste.
Yeah, there's a lot of matches. Yeah, just felt like they were just continuing the feud rather than ending anything, doesn't it?
The weird thing here is that, like, since watching SummerSlam, obviously getting to come home and read a bit more about other people's reactions, is that most people are giving this match and a lot of the matches really high ratings and raving about them.
I wonder if those same people watch the G1.
We've got some listener comments a bit later, and a couple of them do rave about this match and say how good it was. So what do you think? Are we missing something? Are we jaded because we talk about every other
Maybe if
pay-per-view?
it had been in a six-sided ring.
Mate, well, it would have had more pace then, though.
Oh yeah, good point.
I think this is just this sort of WWE main roster booking of matches, or like the pacing of them. I don't think Samoa Joe or AJ Styles, or talking earlier about Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, I don't think they're to blame for that. I think they're given a time and they're, told to build. So therefore, like, they end up, with these WWE moments. So like there's moments of a great move, and then there's sort of a long wait before something else picks up, and they just don't seem to have the pace in the matches, which is what detracts it from me. Like, there were great moments, great moves, like AJ doing the flip off the corner into the reverse DDT. That was
sick.
that
Very
was
cool,
sweet,
yeah.
and like the ending was sweet, but there were just moments rather than this whole crafted match.
I loved Joe's Insiguri to AJ
Yes.
on the turnbuckle, him just
He
falling
kicks
out of
his
the...
head off.
Oh my god.
So good. And
AJ Styles knows how to sell so well.
he does. But then is it just that he doesn't know how to sell and he legitimately just takes the kick and falls to the ground, and it looks real because it is real? It's so amazing.
I mean, the Styles clash, that was... I don't know how I feel about that. It was kind of
That was
like
risky.
A for effort.
He got him
that
up, though,
could have
didn't he?
Yeah, he did it.
Like, give him
Just
Joe doesn't look like a man who's meant to be put in the Stars clash.
No, not at
fair
all.
play for going for it though.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
not?
And he styled it out, didn't he?
he did. He did.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
What I really liked with this is how vicious AJ got at the end. I thought that was a nice touch.
I mean,
Yeah, which
it's
was
really
terrifying for his daughter, or his fake daughter.
His daughter did not want to hug him at the end, did
No.
she?
I'm not surprised. He just attacked someone like with a chair, loads, and then he had blood all coming down from his forehead.
Yeah, and he's really
Yeah.
sweaty.
Yeah.
the actress
no thanks.
playing his daughter was freaked out.
Did you know, Sam, that was actually an incredible actress, because she's actually 23.
Yeah, I know. She fucking won the she won the tag team titles with Braun Strowman last year. So
Oh, is
Well,
that
I
Nicholas?
read somewhere it was Hornswoggle.
who is AJ Styles' daughter?
Find out next week. Should we move on?
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go to the match that's been building for the last 8 years, according to the video package. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. I kind of felt like with this one that I would have been much, much happier if this had been the first match that Bryan had, because I kind of feel like it was great, his comeback, and then the matches he had with
Big Cass.
Big Cass, that was the one, and then the Team Hell No stuff. He's kind of lost all the momentum he had, and some people will say no, it's good, he's sort of building back up again, but I haven't been that fussed about him being back recently. Imagine how good it would have been if this was the first match. I would have been so much more hyped for it.
They just couldn't do that though. They had to put him through all the kind of like, okay, can you actually handle being in the ring, all of that kind of.
But couldn't they have just done that behind closed doors, like in training, and they could have worked out?
I don't know. Like, kind of in this day and age, does anything happen behind closed doors? Like, you always get those rumours.
Well, you should see what I'm doing right now behind closed doors. It's absolutely disgusting.
When you trust, like, The Miz with Daniel Bryan in a match over, like, Big Cass, if you're worried about someone easing back into...
Yeah, good point. I mean, I guess they did put Bryan through the ringer on that Royal Rumble, so...
Yeah.
Say that.
It's just because of all that talking smack stuff that we had, that they had so much heat, the feud, and it might just be me and listeners may feel differently, but I just felt like it didn't have the heat that it did previously.
Despite all the build-up, like over the 8 years, this felt very rushed.
Yeah.
It felt
absolutely.
like a massive letdown to me.
But then this isn't the end of the feud either, is it?
No.
Like,
I'd also say this is my second favourite match on the card.
wow, really?
Wow, really?
Wow, you love to shock us.
Are you forgetting Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin? Come on.
That's third.
John's playing my role at the moment with picking the...
Yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, no, I didn't enjoy it. There was too much
punching.
Too much punching, closed fist punching. I thought that used to be, not allowed.
I know, and it looks rubbish. It looks rubbish.
Slap, though.
Yeah, slaps are so much better.
That
Chops.
slap. Oh, man.
Mate, as Sam and I found out, chops not only look better, but they sound better.
They sound great, don't they?
And we also found out that they really hurt your hands.
More than the chest.
Yeah.
I mean,
God.
even someone who, could sell a punch like The Rock did, like he gave it all that swagger and threw those punches. You'd take a Minoru Suzuki, slap-a-thon over the closed fist punches, wouldn't you?
Wait, hold on. I would rather have Minoru Suzuki slap me than someone punch me, because that's
No, I mean-
inherently untrue.
In a wrestling match, when you see Minoru Suzuki, do the open palm slaps,
I
it
think-
just looks so great.
Yeah.
Sort of, though,
sounds
we've
so
been
great.
Because
spoiled.
Minoru Suzuki is actually trying to kill the guy.
Yeah, well, they need some more of that then.
But we've been spoiled in recent times by great chops, by Walter and Suzuki.
Yeah.
It's kind of, we've seen a lot of good chops. So
This is the big thing, is that chops are such a huge part of indie wrestling, and the shows that we go to, the chops in some ways just get the biggest reaction because it's all about the sound. I mean, we talked about it. It's one of our favourite things in wrestling, as we did in our top 5. Chops are just amazing.
chops are hot.
They are, and in fact, we have a hot chops video, which I think we're going to post, which is of Sam and I chopping each other during SummerSlam.
Woo!
Yeah, you guys can vote on who did the best chop, and the loser can get chopped again.
Chopped.
Yeah,
Chopped again.
chop. But yeah, there were a lot of punches in this, as we said.
Yeah.
Really brutal kicks as well.
Yeah,
I felt like we saw a lot of flashes of Daniel Bryan at his best, but not
Yeah.
quite.
Small glimpses.
Yeah, all of it together.
I'm still not quite there with Daniel Bryan yet. I'm still not kind of seeing the Daniel Bryan of 2014.
He did get, a chop in. He opened the palm for the slap, which was great, but it didn't continue. And he did, I don't think he got that many kicks in, but when he got, certainly I think one kick at one point, it was yes, more of that. But they just didn't.
What I would say is, I don't think Daniel Bryan and The Miz have good in-ring chemistry.
No,
I
didn't
actually
seem
get
like it.
the impression that these two genuinely dislike each other, and so I don't think they work together very well in the ring. I kind of get the impression that one of them is very much indie style, kind of like
the indie
striking and submissions, and the other is very much the safe corporate WWE style. And maybe the two just aren't going together, and I'm buying the build up with the matches. I'm buying the genuine hatred. For me, I'm not sure whether it's kayfabe or real with how much these two dislike each other, but I think kind of that's the best way wrestling is meant to be. You're not meant to know.
Well, those arguments they had on Talking Smack looked very real, didn't they?
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Good acting, but
But I don't feel like that's translated itself into their in-ring performances, and I think that's kind of a little bit frustrating to see. Like almost they're either holding back or they're sticking too tightly to a script, or it just doesn't feel like the fight.
Look, this is what Bleacher Report had to say. This was every bit as awesome as fans had hoped it would be, with a finish that, though not clean, allows the programme to continue and all but ensures Bryan will remain with the company for the foreseeable future. And then they talk about how Miz took a hellish beating and it was a great way to propel the feud.
Really?
We just didn't feel like that.
What match
No.
did they watch?
I mean, like, again, this is SummerSlam. You know, it's like we said, the second main pay-per-view. Like, obviously they haven't had any build. Well, obviously there's the however many years, but in recent shows there's not been much build-up for this match. But like, it should be like the bullet point, or the full stop on some of these feuds.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be like a Raw episode where you're continuing the feud. It's like, come on, this is a big pay-per-view.
That wasn't localized to this match. This was the whole pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's so frustrating.
I'd also say this match and AJ, Joe, and also Seth, Dolph, kind of felt very similar.
Yeah. They were the three longest matches. I think they were all over 20 minutes. And then if you compare that to the rest of the card, when we had three matches that were under 2 minutes, it's very odd. You feel like you could have more of a spread. I mean, the number of squash matches. I mean, should we move on to the next match? Because we've spoken about that for quite a long time. But the Raw Women's Championship match between Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss was basically another squash. But I mean,
liked this match a lot.
I enjoyed a lot. Yeah,
really
loved
same
this.
Goes.
Kind of reflecting on it 24 hours later, I kind of think, you know what, I enjoyed that a lot more than I kind of thought I did at the time. Just if there had to be a squash match on the card, this one
makes sense.
Best choice.
It definitely makes sense, but I just don't think there should be any squash matches on the SummerSlam. Certainly not for a belt.
But I think kind of this is the thing, like with SummerSlam, they like being a little bit different. They like trying new things. Like SummerSlam is the pay-per-view that Brock Lesnar destroyed John Cena out of nowhere. So I think kind of after that, WWE were a little bit like, okay, SummerSlam's our testing ground for just trying different things out. And
I know, but they've made like 3 of their top performers, 2 former championship holders, look like utter dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in some cases that works, in some cases it doesn't. Like, kind of, I would say Kevin Owens has been fucked over big time, but...
Yeah, I would agree with Kevin Owens. I think Alexa Bliss will come back from this. I don't think it's going to have done her damage.
If anything, I think having Alexa versus Ronda was a lovely choice to showcase how bendy Alexa's arms are and how destructive Ronda's are.
Perfect matchup.
Yes.
We all love Ronda, don't we? And the fact that she's come on so much with her mic skills, and we saw a bit more of that on Raw last night, which was good.
Yeah.
But
and the in-ring stuff.
The in-ring
when she
stuff.
sat down and taunted her.
Yes.
That was top quality as well.
So good.
She's really good.
She's just so different as well. When you look across the rest of the women's roster, she is just so different.
She looked much more comfortable doing that as well from only, I guess, a month.
Do you know
ago.
what?
Like, it seemed more natural to her.
She reminds me of a young Brock Lesnar, and I mean that as a compliment. I really do. Like, she's genuinely threatening and scary, and it's just like, oh, holy shit! I don't think there's a single woman on the roster who could actually beat her up.
Yeah.
Apart from one.
Asuka.
But yeah, there's like Asuka. There's intensity and there's pace to her matches.
There's great transitions as well.
Which is, so smooth, those transitions.
Just doing like moves that I've never seen before with unique kind of intros in and out, and it's great to see.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Asuka, do you think Ronda will now go on a Asuka-style streak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to take her down?
Maybe Shayna Baszler? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I can see them leaving, like, it being the longest reign, sort of.
They've got a bit of a
with
problem
Ronda.
with the women's division on Raw, I think. It just feels a bit...
They do indeed.
They don't have any challenges for her, really.
I mean,
Not legitimate ones.
the only heels that they've got on Raw, female-wise, are the Riot Squad. So, I mean, Ruby Riot could work, but it seems a bit... she's already
but those guys have
new.
just been in, like, three women tag matches for the last 6 months.
Well, I mean, this is it. There's them, and then there is Alicia Fox, and then there's Alexa Bliss. And those... Is that it?
I mean, I think kind of Ember
Bayley,
Moon.
Sasha.
Well, in
is-
terms of the heels, I mean.
Yeah, but I
Oh,
think
yeah.
kind of like a lot of these wrestlers can flip and flop quite easily. Like Ember Moon can work as a heel
Yeah.
easily,
Yeah.
and I think kind of at the moment on the Raw roster, she is the most credible kind of person to not be in that picture.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that we'll have a Sasha Banks heel turn as well at some point with this whole Sasha
Yeah, me
Bayley
too, 'cause-
storyline. One of those two have got to turn at some point, and they've been treading water for ages. They should have done that already.
But it seems
really.
to me like kind of WWE is sort of trying to gear up towards a women's tag division.
Yeah, it does feel that way, doesn't it? The way they've kept them together and kept them friends.
Yeah, I don't know. They've got to have
I'm
a turn.
fine
They've
with
got
that,
to-
but they need more people.
yeah.
Got the Iconics as well.
God,
Well, they're
they've
on
been
SmackDown.
missing, haven't they? Yeah, I think they're on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Great draft choice, Sam.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. I don't know,
anyway.
maybe they just need some call ups or something. Maybe the
Yeah.
Mae Young Classic will provide that.
We spoke about before, the problem with the women's is that they only have so much time in the weekly shows, so therefore there's not enough time to showcase a bigger number of roster, so therefore they end up in these 6 women tag matches.
Yeah, where you don't no one gets over and you don't promote any stories at all.
No.
But let's keep it positive. The Raw Women's
Yay.
Championship match was a good match. It was fun. It was exciting. It was the match I was most excited about, and I'd say it delivered. Except I would have liked it to have been longer. I'd like to see more Rousey, but we'll get to see that because she is going to be a fighting champion. She said last night on Raw she's not going to be like Brock Lesnar. She's going to be there week in, week out, and we are going to get to enjoy that, hopefully. Final match of the standout matches for us was the main event, the Universal Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And I think our main takeaway from this was how happy we are that it's all finally over.
Finally, fucking over.
Like waking up
yes.
from a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, on that alone, what a great match. just for the result.
Yeah, Roman's our champion.
7 stars. They got rid of the fucking Brock.
One thing you can say in this match's favour is that it's had a fast start, didn't it? It actually got straight into the action and it was
It's
brutal.
very fast paced.
Whereas
Yes.
so many of the other ones were either the squashes or just very slow. So
Yeah.
it felt like a main event. I know it's one that we've seen a lot of, but it did feel like a main event to me.
It felt
Yeah,
like
but
it was going to be a Goldberg style squash as well, didn't it?
Yeah, very hot start from Roman.
They built it up so well at the beginning and then fucked it, in my opinion.
Yeah, there was so much about this match which was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
When Braun came out and I thought, oh my God, we're going to have a 20-minute triple threat here.
Yeah, perfect. That
I
would have
was
been
like,
a perfect
oh
main
my
event.
God, yes, amazing. Like, we can move the title on. Brock doesn't have to eat the pin if he doesn't want to, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care which one of you two wins it, just one of you win it. And what a perfect kind of get rid of Brock. And it's like they set this all up and then they're
a
like,
surprise as well. Yeah.
but no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to... I don't know. At least we got to see Brock Lesnar chuck a briefcase like 30 foot into a screen. That was great.
That was amazing.
Dead straight as well. Like,
Perfect
I mean,
throw.
straight as an arrow.
That could have gone so
Unbelievable.
wrong, couldn't it?
One of the highlights of the pay-per-view for me personally, that was.
Could have
Yeah.
taken out AJ Styles'
So-
family.
On the subject of that, with a takeover spoiler, Johnny Gargano against Ciampa kicked a crotch away,
Yeah.
and straight into a fan's face. We think.
Oh, that was
Not
crazy.
sure. Gargano stops, looks left, just like, oh fuck, and then just continues fighting. And great moment.
Yeah, he needs to take some tips when it comes to projecting random objects. Aim up the ramp, Johnny. Aim up the ramp. Yeah, it was weird this because when it ended, they brought up the little graphic, didn't they, with the trademark info, and I kind of every time that comes up now, I'm like, yeah, bullshit. Ever since Gargano
right. Ever
Ciampa
since
turn,
the Gargano Ciampa, they
Yeah.
broke the internet. They broke wrestling by
because I was just like,
disobeying the graphic.
oh, has it just finished? Has it just been this straight? Like Reigns has just won this. He is the champ. There's no cash in.
It was very confusing because obviously Braun came in, cashed in, said he was going to fight whoever wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brock
Yeah.
beat him up and threw his briefcase away, but it wasn't kind of immediately obvious that
It wasn't.
that meant that meant Braun couldn't cash in. Like no one
Yeah.
could go up the ramp, get the briefcase for him.
Yeah.
Like
The
kind
last
of
thing Braun
weird.
could do was use his legs to get up
Yeah.
that tiny ramp.
If
It
there's
was so
one thing
far.
Braun is meant to be good at, it's kind of like being knocked down and then hulking out and coming back, and you just kind of lay there like a bitch.
Yeah, but what was even weirder is that Brock did all that, then got in the ring, took one spear,
I
pin,
know.
done.
What are they
So
doing?
weird.
You would have known. It only took 5 attempts.
So
Yeah.
weird.
But anyway, farewell, Brock. Thanks for all you did. Your amazing record-breaking title reign won't be forgotten.
Yeah,
Not for the right reasons, though.
I mean, obviously the last year or so of Brock has been not great, but previous to that, I was a big fan of Brock.
Can we just quickly like eulogize highlights and lowlights of the Brock reign? Because I gotta be honest, I enjoyed the Brock Lesnar versus Samoa Joe feud.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I think
Like his matches with Cena, like SummerSlam, where he just German suplexed him forever. Even last year's SummerSlam, that was it, Fatal 4-Way. That was a great match.
I think
yeah.
I agree that Samoa Joe feud was good, but you just knew that there was no way Samoa Joe was going to win.
Yeah, so I'd say lowlights of
And that's been the problem, is that we've just we've known all along that Roman was going to win it, and it was just a matter of when.
Yes, I think kind of that's been a huge problem for WWE for so long now, and it's like, thank God, it's finally over. We're going to wake up from this nightmare.
Quite pleased with Roman as well, because he's a good wrestler. He deserves better than what he's gotten.
Oh, they've totally done the dirty on him in the recent shows.
Yeah, he is there week in, week out, doing good matches.
He is.
There's much better wrestlers on the roster.
Oh yeah, much better.
Okay, well, that is that, I'd say. It's probably best that we move on now and start getting positive again and talk about the best of the rest. We've done the key matches. Any particular highlights from the other matches or any other little things that you noticed that you enjoyed?
I'd have to say Eric Rowan's weird fall from the sort of weird splash, I guess.
That was
Step
amazing.
down, a step down splash. Can you have a step down splash? Does that count?
Yeah. His little fall. That probably got one of the biggest pops of the day round at Brett's house.
That was amazing.
I read online as well. I think he's injured his bicep as well. So.
God.
Was that when he caught, who was it that he didn't catch at all? Xavier.
Xavier,
Yeah.
I mean, stepped aside. You're like,
on a serious note, an actual good thing in that match was the Big E spear, or the dive through the ropes to Harper.
oh yes.
I tell you, there's one person who is the scariest suicide dive in WWE. It's got to be Big E.
Shitting hell. That would, you'd be
wow.
dead.
Big E's got no fear, has he?
Yeah.
No fear. And he's almost as from that angle coming at you, it's almost as if he's running at you standing up. Like the thickness of his chest.
He's a big boy,
mad.
and
he's huge.
Yeah, scary.
What else? Always nice to see the Demon, would you say? I'm sort of wincing.
A
as
bit
I say
wasted. Wasted on a squash match and something that had zero build as well.
Yeah, I think that was the point in the Demon, though, wasn't it, to make it a squash match?
Yeah. I mean, I think Baron, obviously we talk about him a fair bit, but he did a good job of sort of being freaked out by it, and it was quite funny. But
what has Baron Corbin done to piss people off? Because my God, has he been on shit street for a long time?
Yeah, I've got a note on this. A quote from Brett. I'm starting to feel sorry for him now.
I am.
Wow.
On the subject of Baron Corbin, John, where was my Baron Corbin vest?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I should have brought it down. I will.
That is a
post
very
it.
good point.
Yeah.
Did you get a little frame for it and a plaque? You haven't, have
Yep, sure.
Yep, sure.
you? God's
Cool.
sake. Speaking of quizzes, I should tease that we could well have an NXT quiz coming up on the podcast at some point, but that's all I'll say.
Ooh, mysterious.
Exciting.
What about worst of the rest? Come on, I'm sure there's a lot that you want to slag off.
Cool. Can we put 20 minutes aside for Randy Orton?
Yes.
What happened there? He was like a geriatric old man. He just came wandering out and was like, "Oh shit, I'm on stage. Whoops, bye." And that was it. He was gone.
Yeah,
It
he
was
was
very weird.
totally confused, wasn't he?
Yeah, not great.
Probably just woken up from a nap, just stumbled on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought, oh, where am I? Shit.
Yeah.
Here's my dick in my pants.
Oh god, we actually forgot to mention that the thing that actually broke the microphone was John making a bloody amazing Randy Orton dick joke,
Yeah.
which nobody will ever get to hear.
No, lost in the ether.
It was amazing.
What a shame. but I can assure you, listeners, it was very good. Quick word on the Kevin Owens situation. Obviously, this does come under worst of the rest because Kevin Owens should not be getting squashed like that, should he?
No, definitely not.
No. I mean, the thing with... Gone.
No, I was going to say he did a great job. He isn't a consummate professional, and it's funny.
Yeah.
It was like the fact that he had Owens in the bank on his T-shirt, really coming into it confidently. We were not expecting this to happen, were we?
The thing with Kevin
He's had
Owens-
2 squash matches, hasn't he? Because he obviously the Goldberg one as well.
He lost the
Yeah,
title
he did,
on a
didn't
squash.
he?
I think the thing with Owens is that you have 2 Kevin Owens. You have like the school bully kind of like just petty childish heel who then gets his, and that seems to be the Kevin Owens we've had for quite a while. And then you actually have the genuine kind of Samoa Joe-esque threatening kind of, oh, actually this is a guy who wants to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And kind of he plays both roles really well, and he's so just talented on the mic and in the ring. It feels a shame to not kind of utilize him in a higher regard, and he is such a perfect candidate to hold that Money in the Bank briefcase. It's a real shame that they've not pulled the trigger on that.
Yeah, you can't say that he doesn't put the work in or the effort or like toe the line for them either. Like he does, whatever storyline they put him in, he does a great job with it.
I mean, even with this match, there were some great moments in it.
Yeah,
Braun
absolutely.
charging around the outside and sort of running through Kevin.
Am I right in remembering that you said it was your favourite match?
Yeah, it was. Like the first minute and a half, I was like, this match is incredible. Because you had those bits on the outside and the choke slam to the ramp. I was like, this is incredible.
The first
And
minute
then
and a half, it
obviously-
was only a minute 50.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed with those last 20 seconds.
That chokeslam was amazing. Amazing.
Oh, it looks so painful.
Yeah.
I love a choke slam.
Anyway.
I wasn't mad on Nakamura versus Hardy.
Oh, we haven't even mentioned that at all, have we? No, not me.
No, Jeff trying to kill himself again.
That was quite
that
entertaining,
swanton.
actually.
Swanton on
Yeah,
TV.
Jeff. Oh, he's got a bit of a bad back, hasn't he? Guys, I think I might take it easy and just do a swanton onto the the hardest part of the ring, apparently.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, Jeff.
Yeah.
he's not all there, is he?
No.
No.
Okay. Well, worst of the rest. I'm sure we could go on, but we won't because we're going to talk about our star performer. So this is just each of us picking out whoever was our MVP for this night. Could be because they had a good match. Could be because they did something stupid. Who knows? John, who are you going to go for?
My MVP is the guy in the crowd who made the Roman sign with the cockable fist.
That was amazing.
Unbelievable craft skill.
Solid choice.
Yeah, so just explain it
Excellent
for those who didn't see it.
So there was a guy in the crowd with a massive sort of placard of Roman Reigns, and it had like a movable cockable fist that it was just
Cockable.
thrusting up and down.
Cockable, I
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was
It's true.
definitely fisting throughout the whole show, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, it was superb.
Good piston action.
yeah.
Yeah, excellent work.
No, great, cool. Brett,
Oh, me? Oh.
got anyone?
I'll go. I'll
only
go
had 24
serious.
hours.
Ronda Rousey, just because I think she actually had a great match and she just makes it exciting.
It was a great moment, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I'll just quickly go as well because I wrote down Ronda for this, just because I love her. She's the person on this whole card who I'm most excited about watching. And how much I love Braun Strowman, but to see her win the title, it was brilliant. Sam,
She's incredible.
AJ Styles' daughter and her heel turn. Really enjoyed that.
yeah, that was a great heel turn, wasn't it?
Solid.
nice. Okay, now
that
it's
there?
time to rank the pay-per-view. This could be interesting. We've each got to give it a score out of 10, and then we'll get an average. As I said, we have only ranked one in the past, which was Extreme Rules, which got an average of 4.6. I'm going to go first. I'm going to give this a 6.5.
Harsh.
Sam, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 5.
Brutal.
Yeah.
John?
7.68.
7.68. Amazing.
Okay. That's quite high. But yeah, okay, fine.
That is.
Come on, there was not really a bad match on this card.
Yeah, 5 might be a bit harsh. But
Not good enough for SummerSlam.
as we know from our annual drafts and the scoring, Sam is a harsh scorer, so or a realistic scorer, as he'd say. Brett, what do you think?
I was going to go 6.
6.
I think there were great moments, and compared to a lot of recent stuff, it was better. But I think just because it's better than what WWE have been doing in pay-per-views doesn't mean it's... Like, if you put it next to TakeOver, you can't give it high scores.
So that's an average of 6.295, which sounds fair to me.
I'm so pleased you did that, because I was just trying to work that out on my calculator on my laptop, and everything was going wrong. I times it, and then I did a square root.
I was going to do it on my really clacky keyboard. Keyboard. And then got my phone out and did it on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, what we can say is that SummerSlam is now our number 1 ranked pay-per-view. We have only ranked 2, but it's gone above Extreme Rules, so we'll see how that pans out across the next year. Okay, yeah, so that's SummerSlam 2018 reviewed, and we'll be back with some listener comments after this.
Watch the way. Boom! Finn lands face first on the apron, the hardest part of the ring.
John, what did the people think?
So we got some listener comments. Amir's been in touch. He said, thought it was WWE's best showing in some time on pay-per-view. Joe versus Styles was incredible storytelling and hands down my match of the night, just for the Joe mic work alone. For Hardy and Nakamura was sneaky good, and Demon Balor was a fun surprise.
Yeah, I'd agree with the fun surprise. That was quite...
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, yeah, definitely. It's always good. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if I like the Demons, actually.
I love it. It's like him going Super Saiyan. It's cool. No.
Anyway, he also says, great IC title match to warm up the crowd beautifully. Felt Bryan and Miz was a little sluggish, but still a good story told. Not a fan of KO getting rinsed. That was my fuck WWE moment of the night.
Yeah,
totally.
quite a few of those.
Yeah, totally. Reigns versus Lesnar was short and impactful and made for far easier to enjoy. Both the women's matches had a nice surprise in different ways. Becky will make an intriguing character going forward and into Evolution, and I adore Charlotte as champ.
Yes.
Ronda winning was a beautiful moment, and the celebration with her husband was a great feel-good story. 3.75 ginders.
That's a good gender rating.
Nice one, Amir. Thanks for that essay.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was a long one. I felt out of breath. Hill Nick Payne's also been in touch. He said, Viggy is such a beast. Are we getting the 5-count Langston from NXT on main roster? He'd be a great heel against Roman for the title.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure about Big E's single. I just think he works in a tag team because he plays that big dude role well, but I think single might get a bit samey.
It'd be very...
It's definitely a talent.
It'd be interesting.
I think he works as single.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nick also goes on to say, Finn looks sick, bro. Corbin played his part, brilliantly putting over the Demon big time.
I think Baron Corbin has actually found an interesting place in the shuffle of WWE. Like, he's not as good a wrestler as a lot of the people they've brought through, but he seems to be kind of finding this role in this weird, I'm the constable, but that technically means I'm the assistant to the regional manager kind of.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's the new GM of Raw.
Really?
Yeah, they made
Forever?
him GM.
Forever.
No,
Yep, forever.
Temporary. Covering because Stephanie decided that Kurt Angle needs a holiday. Which is quite funny.
Oh, poor Kurt.
Finally, Hill Nick Payne says, also, Jeff Hardy takes the Swanton bump onto the hardest part of the ring.
Yes,
Nice.
Jeff.
The hardest part of the ring.
Nice way
Sorry, I
to
just had
end.
to say that.
Thank you to Amir and to Hill Nick Payne for getting in touch.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so that is it. Next week we are going to be back. We're going to be doing a hardest part of the ring rewind episode. And John, it's your turn to pick.
Ooh, I didn't know I was picking. I had a couple. I think I was going to go Wrestle War 92.
Yeah. You don't have to tell us now. But as long as you give us a little bit of warning before we have to record next week so we can actually
let's
watch
do
it.
Wrestle War 92.
Wrestle War 92?
Okay.
I'm making a note. Cool. Okay, that's what we're going to do next week. So for anybody who doesn't know, that is our rewind pod where we go back and check out something old on the network and then come back and review it. So yeah, we'll be doing that next week. If people want to get in touch with us, I've got absolutely no idea how they do it. Brett, do you have any idea?
No, I've got no idea either.
Okay. I've heard they can email.
Thanks for listening, guys.
No, yeah, they can email us to hardestpartofthering@gmail.com, or they can send us messages on social media, and we are at Hardest Part Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And they can even visit our shop for some Hardest Part merch, which is hardestpartofthering.bigcartel.com.
Fantastic. That is it then for our WWE SummerSlam review. We'll be back next week, as I said. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you to you, John.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you very much, Brett.
Oh, cheers.
I've mixed up the order and it's thrown you. This is amazing. And
Thank you, Adam. Goodbye.
Oh!
Wow. That was the hardest part of the ring.
Bam.
That is the hardest part of that